Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sibernethy. We will soon be entering a new era of animation and a new era of show business. I call it the Phoenix era. Nothing ever truly goes out of fashion. History repeats itself, and eras tend to run in cycles. Animation, show business, entertainment, and other industries are no different. We are not only on the precipice of a new age or era of animation or show business, we are standing on the precipice of a golden age. Since the beginning, we've always assumed that eras follow a linear timeline. We've had the silent era, we've had the golden age, we've had the Disney Renaissance era, we've had the digital streaming era, and so on and so forth. This new era sets a precedent. First is that the timeline is not linear. It's cyclical and expansive. We repeat the same basic trends, but we add new details to it each time the cycle completes itself and begins anew. We are basically repeating much of the 20th century in many different ways. But one key difference this time around is that we are reintegrating and incorporating all parts previously known in history. All the different previous eras of animation, they are not relegated to the distant past. They are not inaccessible. They are not forever lost. Time itself, in the evolution of various industries today, will soon go through a transition where we recognize the precedent that these things are not static, they're not obsolete. Things do not evolve in a linear progression. They're taking on another dimension. In other words, we're going from a line to a cube, a matrix. We are repeating old trends and patterns and adding new details and expanding what has existed and what currently exists with new things. There is a cycle, often referred to throughout history, regarding civilization and its development. Also, a cycle. And this particular cycle comes in 4 phases. And it goes like this. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. We are soon going to be entering the second phase of this cycle. In the midst of total despair and global chaos and uncertainty, we are standing on the precipice of a golden age soon to follow. New systems will take the place of old systems. People will have newfound creative expression and hope for the future. In order to experience a golden age, there usually is a period of almost total darkness and despair. The golden age tends to follow after a time like this, where all hope for the future has all but been lost. That's when the magical moment of breakthrough happens. That's when we begin to move into the next part of the cycle. We're going to be entering a golden age, a time of global, industrial, infrastructural death and rebirth, especially in the creative industries. Entertainment got us to the 20th century. It will also be the thing that gets us through the 21st century. We are repeating the 20th century with near exact parallels, but with added details. We are going to see two sides of media come into harmonious balance. Legacy media and new media. Legacy media can be summed up as anything that existed before the internet and social media. New media is everything that came after. As it stands right now, as of the time of this recording, new media is almost what is exclusively seen, used, produced with, and consumed at this current point in time, to the point where it has sparked a multi-generational mass desire to go back to legacy media, physical distribution methods and publishing methods, brick and mortar studios and other buildings, the restoration of consumer agency through physical media as a means of archival and personalized curation of media. It's a decoupling from the tangled web of information and stimulus, and near total control that those who own the world of new media have over the agency of its consumers. The Phoenix era will harmonize the two worlds, not making one vastly more powerful than the other, but rather a harmonious blend maintained by a bridge. They remain separate but not disjointed. They will become accessible, one world and the other. Planned obsolescence is going to cease as a concept. Because nothing truly ever goes out of style. It goes in season, out of season, but it always comes back. Take, for example, many technologies that we thought would never make a return, and yet we see them sold in the same stores people go to buy their groceries or their electronics, their phones, their televisions. We see the old cameras. We see the old physical storage mediums. We see vinyl record players with RGB configurations. We see things our grandparents used regularly back in the day, and things more recently than that. CDs, DVDs, VHS tapes, VCRs, cassette tapes, you name it. It's all making a return. Like it never left. We are creating a precedent where the standard is timelessness. No invention of humankind is ever truly lost. It can be buried and forgotten for a time, but it always comes back in some form, even if it has to come out of the clear blue sky. We're going to see a rise in the presence of new voices of leadership, new creators, new studios, new businesses, and the continuous development of technology for the creative businesses like we saw with Disney and other creative enterprises last century. Not only will the future of animation continue to develop, the legacy of animation will continue to live. It will continue to survive in both new forms and the continuous reemergence of older things. We will live to see the day where computers have operating systems that are installed through a CD or another device, another type of medium, the digital separation of church and state, as it were. We're going to see the reemergence of generic computers, the HP pre-made ones, the Compaqs, the Dell computers, not to replace what we use today or custom rigs or custom built machines, but the reestablishment of the basic common standard. Parts will become readily available again, even if they must be manufactured on a generic basis. RAM chips being a big part of this. Because the supply chain, the supply line, is under attack by profiteers, scalpers. The brands themselves are attempting to hold the computer industry at ransom. But the market will always subvert the forces that seek to disrupt its natural rhythm. Thus, we are seeing a demand now for the old ways, the old methods, the old knowledge, the ancient wisdom that holds humanity in its rather fragile compass together. We're going to see a return to greatness in various creative industries in the next 10 years, because we're already seeing the signs. People who are tired of having their products and their purchases made inoperable, their money subject to unlawful and sudden termination by companies that run the systems but have no authority to sabotage and rob people of their investments. It is the end of this era of rampant and almost total market manipulation. It's time for the market forces to decide where the industry will go, unhindered by dictators in business suits, hiding behind copyright, trademark, and patent laws, finding loopholes in each of those to maintain a crushing grip over creative sovereignty. Not theirs, everyone else's. God's work is creation. No system is powerful enough to forever keep it under lock and key. And that is the biggest mistake, the biggest erroneous miscalculation that these titans of the old world classically make when they think they're too big to fail. They try to hold humanity's future hostage to maintain control. And that is exactly what sinks almost every giant. Because they develop this lust for immortality in a world governed by change, and cyclical change especially. Cyclical progression. To attempt to force anything to maintain dominance forever is a fool's endeavor and is doomed to failure. Embrace the cycle of life and death. For in the death is renewed life. That is why I refer to this coming era as the Phoenix era. Everything you know will be reborn in the next 10, 15, 20 years. Largely, a lot sooner than that. And as you can see right here, I'm throwing my hat in the ring. One day, we will be brought right back to where we are today. But we may rest assured that the same outcome follows the eternal cycle. Every phase we will have some way to anticipate and prepare for. So when each phase unfolds, we can stand to not only survive these phases as they change, but thrive. The 21st century has had its dark age. Now we are moving into the dawn that follows the dark. Leave current reality behind. It does no good to lament for humanity's future by its current and past failings. We don't have the luxury to remain in indolence now. We are called into action for ourselves and for the world, and especially the world of entertainment. It's time, guys. Time for entertainment and show business and animation to return to life. The magic restored, the red carpet walked once more with purpose. For as they say, there's no business like show business.